Shalom to you, like giving all praise and honor, glory to you. How about Shemal Shai, Bishop of Kukodash, and give a double honor to the elder apostle and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, who will peace and citations to elect. Shemal Malcolm is mouth from the Great Millstone, playing tables, game for Philadelphia. Come with another wee lesson. You have it here, and off of 6 ABC Philadelphia. Also, I have another link, a source off of zerohedge.com, which pertaining to the title, and two radicals arrested after targeting anti-Islam New York protests with sharp and opaque devices. Okay. You have here, NY spokesperson said that two counter-protesters identified as an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old, which is you have Amir Balat and 19-year-old Abraham Nick, through improvised devices. All right. At demonstrators participated in the Stop the Islamic Takeover of New York City protest. Both suspects were arrested shortly after the incident. You have it here off of Oya Scooter Caster. You have it here, breaking New York PD IDs. Both suspects after attempted bomb attack on outside Gracie Mansion. Okay, the device is jar wrapped in black tape with nuts and bolts and screws and a fuse inside. All right, video shows second suspect pass bomb along to another second suspect being arrested by NYPD outside. Okay, and you have it here off of, again, X, and obviously I want to give a fair use. Okay, under that'd be Title 17, Section Code 107, 1976. You have it here, and fair use, all right, being declared, all right, for the purposes which would be for journalism, all right, teaching, scholarship, research. Okay, you have it here, which I'm using it for educational purposes only. Okay, otherwise it would be infringing. Okay, so fair use declared. All right, you have it here. As we continue to read on, you have Jake Lang, and you have a Twitter page, or X, Muslims in NYC. This is, quote, his words: "Tried to assassinate me with a effing nail bomb. Zoom in and look. Nails, screws, bolts. We need total re-immigration now." All right, what is re-immigration? You have to look into that. I didn't mean to pick this up. Okay. All right, re-migration. Again, migrate. All right. Re-immigration. You have immigration. Yeah, remigration. Okay. Right, which is migrating again. All right, returning to one's original or previous home after migration, in which many people have been displaced and have claimed asylum and have even entered this country, due the borders. Okay, you had during Joe Biden presidency, yeah, how many immigrants have entered? All right, you know, you have more than 10 million undocumented immigrants have flooded across our border during uh, the Biden administration. This is quoted off of Center of Migration Studies of New York. All right, because they doing this as a they got 10.9 undocumented reside in the United States based on the census and American Community Service data. But now you could just go into it. The DHS said over 4 million migrants encountered have been returned. Okay, you have that. You have the information. And you could just do it on your own. They're giving basically information on migration. This is another information gathering agency. But anyway, we just gonna keep going. All right, because again, as I keep telling, a lot of these different people have entered the country. As we go into military age men, okay, have entered the country. We'll tell you do that through South America, going through that as we go into the Darien Strait. Okay, which is it's tough to get through that remote and part. It's over there like going in Central America. All right, with like Zebulon. Okay, going from Colombia, all right, into Panama. All right, do this straight right here. Okay, Darien Gap. All right, and it's tough right there. People get the animals, and then also the different various cartels. It's very tough to go do that gap. All right, it's an international border between Colombia and Panama. All right, and a lot of different nationalities have entered through there. All right, came into this Americas through the southern border, and they're here in Babylon. They're in America. All right, they're here in this this cauldron. All right, and they're the same ones that are telling you to go back home while they done left their home, which is crazy, so yeah. The scriptures talk about in Habakkuk how and this is Habakkuk, and this referred to Esau, Edom. All right. It says, verse 5, it says, "Yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desires hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people." And most of these people are here in Babylon, the Great America. All right, the big, great melting pot. All right. You go on to, it says, this is verse 8, "Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, and of the city, and of all that dwell therein." And you're seeing, these different things happen. Okay. You have, these individuals that are, we talk about the rise of these different heathen, who have inside, they have ulterior motives, okay, and they're working on behalf of other nations, against America, as you have it, they done identified these particular individuals. And they looking like just like all these individuals over here in these big major cities, like over here in the East Coast, like Philadelphia. You know, they saying these Muslim quotes with the as you can see. Damn. Okay. Um, and yeah, the bomb failed to detonate though. Okay. So one device contained nails and bolts but failed to detonate. But the intention was there. Okay. Left wing Tism is on the rise. For the first time in more than 30 years, attacks by the far left outnumber those by the far right. And again, that's what they're publishing, okay, in the media. Here's the individuals. This is the face. They playing, of course, the left right, and with the two wings of the same bird. Get dealing with the American politics. Where you have it Egyptian versus Egyptians. Which is becoming physical, obviously too. And it does get physical. And you have it with politically, with the major political parties, as we always talk about in Revelation, the 13th chapter. Okay, about that another beast that came up out of the earth, which is America, Revelation 13:11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Okay? Yeah, which which you have because of the people are under that illusion, okay, because really it's just an illusion. Okay, you have it, but you have a uni party that really is going on, and they really working for the elite. All right, there's two means to, the same outcome, which is ultimately what the NWO. Okay, and to bring in the NWO, these different events would have to happen and have to occur. They have, as you have it, these two, they call it radical. Okay. There seems to be too much confusion about yesterday's event where two Muslim teenagers yelled, you have it here, right? And threw bombs at right-wing protesters at front of Zoran Mamdani's Grace Mansions. Had these bombs detonated, it would have fit a textbook definition of, if you have it, Islamic Teism. Unfortunately, the majority of NYC politicians and journalists are so far left that they cannot acknowledge these facts. So they're reporting either focus on right-wing extremist protests, leaves out that the bomb-throwing Muslim men who yelled that particular quote are, they go into bringing that in, or twist the story into complete lie. That the right-wing protesters threw a bomb at Gracie Mansion because of Islamophobia. All right, an NGO researcher would focus on in the NYC ecosystem told us. And JTC53 on X said, this is the face of open borders. This is the face of Teism. This is the face of radical Islam in America. This is what Joe Biden did to our country. Radical Islam is not comparable or compatible with Western civilization. But over here, within these cities, you got all these different churches, these different nations. They're over here right now, and they have institutions in which of worship, within America. Okay, and America went to their country and have done these different acts, okay, and takeovers and regime changes, as they would say, bringing forth democracy. Okay, bringing forth that wine, but you look at what the outcome has got us. You know, you didn't used to have all of this, but now you do have this. Okay, let's recall that 1 week ago, a nationalized citizen, okay, with the property of have it Allah shirt, opened fire at an Austin, Texas bar, killing 3 and wounding 14 others. Right, and he looked like a so-called black man. Okay, where you going to that? Okay, um, so this let me see that. I had to get that. So you have it. This particular individual. Let me get a different one because this is like crazy. As you can see, the guy right there. Okay. All right. And he had the shirt, but you can see it. All right. Suspect in Texas shooting. Okay, so you have it with this, that religion, which we have no affiliation with Islam, any ones that practice Islam or any of that sort. Okay, us at Great Millstone. All right, we have no affiliation, with that ideology, that belief system. It's a false belief system. All right, and it's not the truth. Okay, and you got these nationalized citizens apparently from Senegal. Okay, which you have Hebrew Israelites that are from West Africa and such. But they some of them do, which I'm talking about Hebrew Israelites meaning by nationality. Okay, being by blood. Okay, not by anybody joining a camp or anything of that sort. We talking about people that actually come from Senegal and then they have Islam, okay, as their religion, okay. But he went on his own and he was shot and killed by police, okay, and such. And he had that shirt, okay. So that just goes to show you the confusion. Okay, that's here in Babylon the Great America. And there's a lot of confusion, but on the major point is the show is that you have these different T attacks and real events. Major is gonna happen in Babylon the Great America, which has been prophesied in the scriptures. Okay. What do we throw? Yeah. So yeah, you see it right there. If you can't see it, it's right there. What do we throw? And the rest. Does someone have your emergency contact? Yeah. So, yeah, that's just that. So, now we're going to get to the main point. And I think... All right. Stop moving! Clear the pen! Pause that. Socket. Yeah, how right to get all them other precepts at another time that I may fail to bring out. This is Job chapter 18. Okay. At Job 18 and 11, and it says I start at verse 10. It says the snare is laid for him in the ground, and the trap for him in the way. All right. Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. Okay. And as you have it with these different dreadful events, okay, by that's that Balah, all right, Balaha, which is going into dreadful events, alarm, terror, okay, calamity, destruction, okay. These things would be going on, all right. Verse 14, his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the King of terrors, Yahweh Shai. Okay, so ultimately that's what is going to lead to Yahweh Shai coming back and bringing and cutting off all of this madness that's going on in these cities with these heathen, with these false religions, with this shabby rulership that's being exposed. Okay, and this wickedness. All right, so that's gonna be the lesson through the spirit for now. So shalom to you elect.